Hello everybody, Sunday Adelaja here. I'm back to you today with the program that I do every week. It's called Reconstructing Nigeria and Nigerians. I believe that it's not enough to just reconstruct Nigeria. We need to reconstruct Nigerians as well. And what I do here is not to complain, not to talk about the current affairs, but I'm just giving out principles so that you all know that we can solve our problems. That there are principles that we need to be able to resolve our issues. And I'm appealing to people who are in government or who have access to government to be able to share this truth to people in government, because it's like not just people in government, to all Nigerians, because we need these principles to be able to build a greater country. When we talk about Nigeria, we always think that it is our problem is with our government, and because we don't have good leaders, that's why we have a problem. But today I want to talk about the fact that no, our problem, we are undeveloped, we are not civilized, we are backward, not just because of bad government, but because of bad culture. We need to change our culture. I'm not talking about traditions, culture in terms of traditions and tradition called physical culture. I'm talking about value systems. If we change the culture, we'll change the nation. So that's the topic of today. Change the culture, change the nation. I believe that Nigeria and all other African countries must change our culture and attitude of our people. If we don't change our value systems, our attitude of daily life, how we do things on a regular basis, we will never change, no matter the kind of government that we have. For example, African time. That is a culture. It has become part of our culture to come late to when we are very slack in relations to time. There is no way we will ever be developed or civilized. So if we don't change that culture, we will not be able to really get our people out of poverty. A corrupt society is not a product of bad government. Yes, the government could be corrupt, but government itself is a product of corrupt society. Corrupt society is a product of, the corrupt government is a product of a corrupt society. It's not the opposite. It is a society that gives birth to the government. The society gets the government that reflects who the society is. The people get the kind of government and rulers that they are, that they deserve, because it is the society that gives birth to the government. So a corrupt society or an underdeveloped society is a product of, it's not a product of bad government, but it's a product of the society itself. So if our society is corrupt, it's not because the government is corrupt, but because the society itself is corrupt. So if our government is corrupt, it's not because the government is just corrupt by itself, because it came from nowhere, from the moon. No, the government came from the people. So if our government is corrupt, it's because our people are corrupt. And we need to face that. So until we change our culture of corruption, we will not be able to change our nation. It is when the nation and the people's culture of corruption is changed, that is when the government will be without corruption. The government is only a reflection of what the people are. So a corrupt society is not a product of bad government or bad leadership. It is rather a product of the corrupt society. It would be a fallacy to think that only the government is to blame. No, it is the society that is to blame. If the society itself is full of corrupt practices, there is no way the government will not be corrupt. So we need to first of all change our values as a society, as a country. If we don't go ahead and put programs in place to change our mindsets through propagation that the government also needs to do, because some people say, but who will change that? The government. Yes, the government can do it, but not only government can change society. Government can do it. Civil society groups can bring about change in value system of the nation. Families can do that. Churches can do that. Education system can do that. So there are a lot of platforms. Nollywood, entertainment and entertainment industry can do that. Media can do that. So a lot of forces that are available in the society that could be used to change the individual value system of our country and of our people. Once the individual value system is in order and is changed to collaborate with values that make countries great, then we will get rid of corruption. If we can change our corrupt value system and we replace it with value system of civilization, of development, then we'll be able to get rid of corruption and backwardness as well. But for example, let's look at Nigeria, for example. One of the culture that is there in that culture is get rich quick, or instant gratification. The culture of instant gratification, nobody wants to suffer. Nobody wants to deny themselves. Nobody wants to, pay the price. Everybody wants something quick. Get rich quick syndrome. And what does that lead to? That leads to a country without production. Because for you to be able to do production, you have to go through process of production. You have to suffer. You have to deny yourself. You have to pay the price. So if people don't want to do that, there will be no development. There will be no manufacturing industry. There will be no factories. There will be no industry. And when there's no factory and industry, the country will be poor. The country will be underdeveloped. So it is the value of the people that must be changed. It is the mindset of the people that we must change. If we have, for example, that same value system of get rich quick, or instant gratification, it will always lead to stealing. Because instant gratification, because you don't have the patience to wait and create what you need to do, you have to then, it will lead to fraud. You have to begin to deceive people, defraud them, and begin to tell them stories, and begin to, steal and exploit other people of their hard-earned money. So those are the things that, that's why people also, government people, when they are elected into the government, they become the reflection of what the society is. And they become, because they were growing up in primary schools, in secondary schools, even though now they are politicians, but they have been inculcated, they have been, in their mind has been programmed to think in terms of get rich quick schemes and get rich quick instant gratification. So they go to government with that mind. And when they get there, they become corrupt. Because the greed was already in them before they got to government. Why is it that we say, so people are good before, and when they go to government, they became bad? No, it's because it has been in them. They have not inculcated in their system the right value system. So they are greedy because that they are looking just for the opportunity. That thing was in their culture. They are just reflecting the environment. And if the environment is like that, that's why all our leaders are like that. Have you ever wondered why is it that we change government and leaders come and go and we never have the right ones? Because that is what our society is like. The culture that is prevalent in the society is the culture that will be prevalent in government. The culture that is prevalent in the society is what the country will reflect. So if the culture is instant gratification culture, then there will be corruption everywhere. There will be fraud everywhere. There will be 419 everywhere. There will be all kind of deception going on everywhere. But if the culture is that of self-denial, industry, hard work, then you will see that the country will begin to grow and people will be denying themselves to build something, to be able to go through the process of production, to be able to produce goods and services. They will be paying the price to do that, and then the industry and the economy will be revived as a result of that. So what we need to do is to sit down, get our acts together, get the values that make nations develop and great, get those values together, begin to teach these values to our people from primary schools to secondary schools to university level, and train our people to be able to move and walk in these principles. That is the only way to change. We need to first of all change the value systems, because if we don't change the value system, everybody will just be blaming one another, but they will not know that the smell is coming from their nose. But because they will be saying, it is the government that's to blame. The government will be blaming one another. Everybody just blaming one another. But really, it is the old culture that is to blame. So we need to go to our root. We need to go back to our fundamentals, to the fundamentals of our society. What are the value systems that are guiding and ruling our society now? Is it that of greed? Is it that of instant gratification? Is it that of fraud and deception? We know we have a problem. It is the society that is producing that kind of government. So we need to now stop and say, okay, if the government will not do anything, let civil society begin to do something. If the civil society will not do anything, let families begin to do something. Let citizens begin to do something. Let individuals begin to do something. That is how we change our country. We don't wait for somebody to come and do it for us, or even for the government to come and do it for us. Let's stand up and begin to take responsibility for our country. Let's clean up the mess. Just like when it comes to industry, for example, look at Dangote. That he's trying his best to change, the narrative of the Nigerian economy. He's one man, but he's trying his best. The same thing, if everybody would take responsibility for one aspect of life or the other that way, we'll be able to change our culture, and I will be able to change our country. For example, when I talk to people back in Nigeria, everybody's saying there is no job. Why? Because the young men who finish university, they are looking for prestigious job. They are not looking just to go and create something by themselves, because they have not accepted the culture that no, we are image and likeness of God. We can create this thing ourselves. I don't need to look for a job. I will create the job for myself. So there is no enterprise. There is no industry in them. So it is about the value system that somebody has to give you something. But if it is self-help culture, it is only what I give myself that benefits me. It is my source of joy is what I create for myself, is the handiwork. When I see my own handiwork, that is when I rejoice. But not waiting for somebody to give me a job, to give me this. But if we want to create job for ourselves and for others, we will see that we will change our country. So because people who are looking for job, they are looking for easy solutions. They are not looking for creativity. They are not looking to be the ones to bring solution and answer, but they want something for nothing. And that is the problem. If that is the kind of society we have, there is no amount of government, it doesn't matter how good the government we have is. It doesn't matter who we elect. They will not be able to resolve the problem. If our people just want to do white-collar job, for example, they don't want to do manual work, they don't want to do work that are not prestigious, well, they will end up, because there will be no enough white-collar job for everybody, they will end up, involving themselves in money laundering or fraud, money schemes, or pyramid schemes, and all kinds of different deception. Armed robbery and theft would be the order of the day, just because people are not being grounded in the value of hard work, dignity of labor, self-denial, working to make God proud, to make your neighbor better, and service to the society, stewardship to God, to self, to the community, and to the society. If people don't believe in those values, if those values are not prevalent in the society, then you have other values. You have other values like drug pushers. You have values of fraud, like drug pushers will be many, swindlers will be everywhere, scammers will be everywhere, because get rich quick syndrome, or get rich quick principle, or they give back to swindlers and drug pushers and scammers, and that is what and that is why instant gratification messages, like miracle messages, they will only give back to drug pushers, swindlers, scammers, fraudsters, 419. That is what this kind of instant gratification messages like miracles will do for us. But we have to be teaching people processes, that they have to go through process of hard work, of self-denial, of pain. We have to get rid of the escapist mentality that, God will just do it. We just wake up one day, everything will be ready. Destiny will help, I will come. But that is the kind of society we have. Everybody is expecting something to fall from heaven. That's why when people go to government, they see money everywhere, and they will just think that, that's the opportunity also, because they don't want to pay the price, of self-denial. They will see the thing, and since it's escapist mentality. I want to escape poverty. I don't want to be poor. Nobody wants to be poor. Let me just go ahead and, steal this thing and or take care of myself. So that is what brings about corruption. Corruption in the society is because of the culture. If we want to change our society, we need to change the culture. Change the culture, change the nation. And what I mean is that let's study the culture that is prevalent, the traditions, the mindset of our people. Let's make a list of them and let's target them through media, through cultural organizations, through pressure groups, NGOs, through entertainment industry, through citizens' active participation, through education, through media, through churches, through mosques, through homes, families. Let's go ahead and begin to attack all these evil culture, evil tradition, evil values. Well, let's go and begin to uproot them one way or the other. If we could do that, we'll be able to change the nation, because the nation will reflect the new value system that we are going to teach to them. This is how to build a developed and a great nation. Well, that's it for today from me. For the love of God, church and nation. And don't forget, that's the book there. If you want to know more about this book, if you want to know more about this topic, check that book. The Dignity of Labor is called. How to become a developed nation through dignity of labor. So you'll be able to know more about the subject. There is more answer and solution there. So, peace.